Hello and welcome to another edition of Motor Capital. And I'm here at the Motor City Soundboard on Thursday, May 17th with my brother-in-law Chris Nordine to attend a charity fundraiser for the NSO. And it's called the Man in the City Experience. And this will be quite the event. Maybe you've seen the Man in the City around town, perched atop many of buildings throughout the city and actually throughout the state. Now, what's happening here is the Man in the City is like this orange guy, and you've seen him around town, but what they did was they made these wood cutouts and gave them to about 35 different artists and told those artists to create whatever they wanted and perceived or whatnot, use their artistic talents in whatever way they felt they desired, and go to town and make their own unique and original Man in the City. And then they're going to auction these art objects off. And there's a silent auction, and then there's also an actual auction that we'll see later in the show. But there's food and beverage, so here is a part of the spread. I'm not sure what, certainly some cheese and some other goodies there. They had a DJ. Well, the soundboard, I have never seen a concert over here, so this was a great chance for me to check out, the soundboard. So they got all their electronic equipment and so forth. Look at this, chocolate dipped. Yeah, they were doing it up. Chocolate cake bites. Look, art is everywhere, even in food. Yes, but I'm watching the artist here, and Nikki is her name, and so I appreciate people with artistic talent because I have not that much. So, anyways, they have a special kind of like suite up here, but then I went up to the second floor. I'm not sure what the seating capacity is here at the soundboard. Their bars are decorated up nicely. But here, like, you have the item number, what the artist called it, and then a brief explanation of what they had. Back to the food. Mini pulled pork sliders with slop. Yeah, they had Mickey on the big screen, too. And this is like painting with a twist, or the thing where you do it with a glass of wine or two. Here's some more artistic desserts. Baklava, lemon bars. I sampled a few of them. Hey, this is a weatherman, Paul Gross from Channel 4. Okay, well, right now, when I'm doing this voiceover, it's heading up to over 90. Yikes. This is on Monday, June 18th that I'm doing the voiceover, but man, it might be a hot year. It's not even summer yet. I want to say hot summer, but it's a hot spring. All right, well, put the little star here, right where the heart is. But this is a neat little fundraising event for the Neighborhood Services Organization. And a little later on, I mean, they provide a ton of services, and they have residents at the old Michigan Bell Tower on Oakman. But they have the soup kitchen, and they provide shelter and job training and all number of things. we'll get into that later, but I'm moving through this pretty quick. But every piece of art certainly has a message to be shared. Not all of them are man in the city. Some other pieces of art will be auctioned that people provided. If you can speed read through some of this. Oh yeah, back to the food. Prime rib, I think, or roast beef, whatever, but yeah. I was looking at the pieces. I kind of, in a little way, collect art, or like to think. So if it's within reason, and so forth, I'll purchase things. Here's my brother-in-law, Chris Nordine. He produced a piece, and that's part of the reason why I'm here attending this event. My sister also did a piece, and my sister couldn't attend, so on her behalf, I attended. This is my sister's piece, and she's item number 151. And she did the thing with the nature theme. And my brother-in-law, Chris, did it with the glass deal. Now, there was another artist here, and I love watching artists perform. It reminds me of the PBS kind of thing. Okay, starting bid is $75 on all the pieces. So it's amazing with technology these days. You can do everything by your phone. So I'm saying, well, that's affordable. I can do that. So I was looking at these pieces thinking, hey. And I had my eye on this one here, item number 113. And I wasn't sure. And you can see here now the wood. It's like a laminated wood panel there on a board or a stand. Yeah, if you've been around town, the man in the city, they're orange placards on top of buildings, steel kind of things. There's one in Eastern Market. There's one in Cass Park. There's a few downtown. Midtown, Corktown, Eastern Market. They'd be all over the place. Okay, painting with a twist. So this is how they do it here. They got several places, even 3 locations. One was in Ferndale. I think that's where she worked. Look at this piece. I'm thinking, man, I watched her produce that, and I think I don't want to say for sure, but that went up for auction too, and I think it could have been had for $50.
So I was down there last week and found some beautiful.
Do the one with the bridge.
Oh, for sure. That's actually.
And then Nikki went on to make another piece, Belle Isle Bridge. Oh, I like that. That's got the Motown thing to it, the star where the Detroit is. Motown Mosaic. Yeah, these were all well done. People with a lot of artistic talent. Hey, we're going to take a look at some more of the food and the goodies. Okay, they had... Okay, so Nikki's getting started on the next one. Grilled chicken penne Alfredo. I didn't partake in all that food. Otherwise, I probably would have gained about 10 pounds. But I just wanted to take a peek and see what they all had. They even had an auxiliary room just outside of the soundboard concert venue or hall. And so they have a silent auction there, and then they'll have a live auction. That was kind of the program there. Let's see, 8:20. Well, the live auction begins at 8:40. I think the silent one ends at 8:20, so I was keeping that in mind. NSO-mi.org is the website. Inspiration Man. Oh yeah, so some clever words of wisdom. Words to live by. Okay, these were the pieces that were going to be in the live auction. These were, well, I don't know how they decided which ones were the live auction, but some of them were certainly. And here's a famous actor from the Detroit area. They're a little pricier items. Certainly, the live auction, the bidding will get up there, and it's a little more intense. The art of cartoonist kind of a thing. There's a name for sketch artists that do that. And here's one of the MCs on the right. So they were doing a little video action. Okay, I bid on this one here. Item 113. So we'll see what happens. Figured I might as well play in the game here a little bit. My bid card was 113, and that's actually what I was bidding on. Coincidence? Look at this. I think not. You won. So there I have it. I'm going to take this home with me. Lindy Marie Shrewbridge. God, it's hard to pronounce. But yeah, what a fab. I loved what she did. It's like decoupage or whatnot. And Chris's piece here sold too. Yeah, my winning bid was 125. I actually outbid the director, or the president, Sheila, on that one. Okay, we're getting started with the live auction. Here we go.
We can get him to make you a full time.
Well, I need something, obviously.
Yes.
Maybe you'll shut me up.
I would like to first thank everyone for being here tonight. Really appreciate your presence, your energy in this place, so thank you so much. I'd like to start first by introducing the members of the Board of Directors of NSO and ask them to please stand or wave their hand as I call some very special people who work tirelessly to plan tonight's event. Please raise your hand if you believe we're not finished raising funds. We still got some auctions to go. But we hope that that's going to exceed us to raise money for our programming, but in the imagination of the work that was created. It was just the energy of this committee, the energy of the creativity that came out of them was just phenomenal. So I really want to thank you for your incredible, energetic committee who put this on. It's phenomenal when you can just step into a meeting and know that people have this event under control. And we had a lot of new people come to the table on the committee, and we just love you and really appreciate everything that you did to make this successful. If you are one of our esteemed, what an incredible, creative, caring group of people you are. These are the people whose wonderful artwork that you have been walking around and looking at and bidding on all evening. We were so blessed to have you share your talents with us. We are so happy that we were able to not only raise funds for our programs, but showcase for this community the wonderful artistic talent right here in the local Metro Detroit area. Thank you. We couldn't have done this without you. This would not have been possible if it had not been to the artists who agreed to participate, and many because something tied to one of our programs hit their heart, and they wanted to help us and also help, whether it was the youth, whether it was the elderly, whether it was the homeless, whether it was people with intellectual developmental disabilities. They held up signs and said that's who they were creating their artwork for. So we really appreciate you. We couldn't have done Man in the City without the artists. Funds to continue the dynamic and impactful programs that we've been providing to those in our community. We do it one person, one life, one family at a time. All the funding for nonprofit organizations does not cover all the operations needed to support programs, which is IT. People want us to give data reports to them. We need IT to do it. The funding doesn't cover that. Property maintenance. NSO owns almost all the buildings our programs are in. There's maintenance on the buildings. Our funders don't fund that. Maintenance, transportation. One of the biggest barriers to our people getting services is transportation. So we've got to find a way to get them to services, or we go to them. Our funders don't pay for that. Furniture, equipment, and sometimes even the space that our staff work in is not covered in a grant application. So programs like this help us fill the gap. Those are the things that are up under our programs that help our programs work. And so I really want to thank you, because without this type of financial support, we would continue to struggle and not be able to fill the gap so that we can continue to do the things to sustain the programs that are actually touching the lives of the people that we serve. This event also helps us to increase the awareness of the healing power that art has for people with mental illness and addiction disorders. NSO has been pushing fine arts at our organization for a while and has special programs. We have art therapy, we have a theater program, we've had photography programs, we have an art studio inside one of our buildings, and we have a music room. Art is absolutely a critical vehicle that we use to heal the people that we work with. And I cannot imagine this community without it. Many talented artists who are right here in the Detroit area. Many times you don't even know the gifts that you have around you, and we've got some phenomenal gifts in the artists that are here. The artists sprinkled all over to make our community brighter, inspired, colorful, joyful, and empowering. I just couldn't imagine, and if you could close your eyes and think of a world that had no art in it, how sad and dry and bland our world would be without it. And so raising money, increasing the awareness of the role that art plays in the healing process, and to help showcase the phenomenal talent in the city of Detroit, those are the three reasons why this event is so important to NSO. This year is our signature year, and we hope to continue to have this event every year starting this year. I'd like to also thank our sponsors who buildings in Detroit, and I believe there's about 30 especially in the downtown area. We have one on the Bell building, but let me say that I saw them on some of the buildings and read the story about John, and I found him. Social media does have its place. And so I found John on social media and asked him and said, I'd like you to put one of those sculptures on the top tower of the Bell building. And John said, I'll do it under one condition, that you also plan an event that's celebrating Man in the City, but increases people's awareness of the work of NSO, and also will help raise money for NSO. So this is our thank you to John for putting the sculpture on the top of the building, but also his thank you to NSO, and I truly, truly appreciate him.
Right. Who's looked up at a building and seen one of these orange men looking down on you?
We just heard from Sheila P. Clay, the president and CEO of the Neighborhood Service Organization, explaining the importance of art and how this event took place. This is the first year. Hopefully more to follow the annual event. So here are the two MCs. Let's listen in.
And that's why they've lent their beautiful pieces for us to hopefully make some money tonight for this unbelievable charity. So let's give the artists another round of applause. Mental disabilities, our youth, and those experiencing homelessness.
So let's talk about the NSO. How hard they work day after day to ensure that no matter the circumstances, each resident really can achieve their dreams, and that's pretty much what art is all about. It's hard to put into words all the people that are affected by the NSO's good work, but please join me in seeing the impact of one of the NSO's programs that our community has put on.
So what you're going to see now is...
I thank you, my Father God, the Most High. Teach us and guide us and show us the way. And as you teach them and guide them and show them the way, let that love and that light that you bestow upon them be a light like a lantern to the people of the world. And may they be able to touch the soul.
Forget about the collapse. Forget about the revival. This isn't about ruins or rebirth. This is about people keeping a city alive.
So at first I was just practicing here in the clinic and in the center. And, you know, kind of had it in the back of my mind about what about the people who don't come into the center.
I actually was a resident of the Tamani Center. One day I was sick. I think I had close to pneumonia. Found out I had asthma, bronchitis at the same time. Dean put me in his car and actually drove me to the emergency room. Probably saved my life that day. And I've been here ever since. I want to win when I so I can fly away from here. Away somewhere.
Wow. That looks pretty good.
Installations. If you've met John, specifically tonight, you've noticed his orange pants. I'm believing that he did that on purpose to kind of reflect his art and
It's a smart move, actually. Wouldn't you do that?
It's good marketing. John, part of the thing about his art is it's not just about this cutout of this man. It's so much more than that. And in fact, if you've seen any of his work on video online and seen some of the stories that people tell about him, he has a great art and a very big heart. And so now, if we could, we'd like to bring out the man, the myth, the legend, John Sauvé.
Come on, John. Terry is also known as John Sauvé's mini-me.
Like his stunt double.
Here's the man in the city.
Hey, you guys talk really soft for MCs.
What are you talking about, John?
I think that should be your MC name, Soft MCs.
I like it.
So, hey, I just wanted to say a couple quick things. Thank you, Terry and Jamie, for agreeing to be MCs tonight. Thank you to Heidi for helping out with it. But most importantly, Denise and Sharon did put this together, and they're good people. I love them both. They've worked very hard. Sharon's over here with one leg. I don't mean to point that out, but she does have one leg. And Denise is supporting the best cause in the city of Detroit. It covers everything. From cradle to grave, NSO is about people, and it's about caring about people. Go take the next step, stop in, talk to Sheila, see how you can volunteer, see how you can get involved. You'd be surprised at the amount of resources you have that can be used at NSO. And all it takes is going through that door. So, thank you. And are you guys back on? Soft MCs, are you back on?
I don't understand.
At least our voices are deep.
Sorry, I just had to do that.
That's all right. It's fair. You're taller than I am. I have to take it.
So at this point, we're going to start the bidding on this particular man in the city at $50. Do I hear $50? $50 from number 210. Do I hear $100? $100 up on the mezzanine at 413. $100. Do I hear $125? 120
right there, 210.
50 in front. Do I hear $400? 400.
24
Thank
from
you,
Sheila.
450? 450 in the back. Do I hear $500? $500 for Pendulum Man. $500.
Don't think about it.
Anyone? $500.
$500.
$550. Up on the mezzanine. We're at $550 for Pendulum Man. This is a Dwayne Scherer original.
So you guys are giving way too good a deal on these men.
Are we?
Yeah.
I knew you were coming out here
Let's
for a
restart the bidding at $4,000.
No, first one gets to...
$800, 413.
Oh, $800? Wow, she outbid herself. Fantastic. Thank you, ma'am.
We make the rules, Heidi.
Like twice? $850. Oh,
there it is.
Roger.
That's awesome.
$900 from the woman number 413 in the back. $900. Our first one sold, $900.
Sold for $900.
Congratulations.
It was signed for 50. Which one of you is it?
We're going to go 100 now.
100 right here.
100 right here.
$100. Do we hear 200? $200. That's it.
Man.
500. Do I hear 600? 600, ma'am? We're looking for $700 for the J.K. Simmons original Go Tigers Man in the City. Yes? No? What happened to our bidder in back? She bailed really early.
Where are we at?
We're at $600 right here in front.
I'm going to go 900.
$900. Jamie? Ma'am, $1,000? $1,000 up front. That's fantastic. You want to go higher than that? Too rich for Jamie's blood. Do I hear $1,100? $1,100 from anyone?
It is very cool.
$1,000 for the Tiger sports fan in the room. $1,000 going once. Going twice. Sold. We sold the J.K. Simmons. Congratulations.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's actually quite light and delightful. We're going to start the bidding on this piece at $50. Do I hear $50 in the room? Would anyone like to bid $50 on this?
304.
304, $50. How about sold for $700 to Sheila Clay? One of the actual orange men for your own roof, whether that's your business or your residence, put in place by the artist who kind of started it all, Mr. John Sauvé.
What's the actual size of this?
I think these, John, where is John? Are these about 4 feet high, John?
I think they're 13,000 feet tall.
They're 13,000 feet tall. John will actually
as well. That's got to be worth 500. But anyway, we'll keep
he's
it
at 3. He's fine at 3. Would anyone like to bid $400 for this? It's a one of a well, it's one of 60 now. 500 sold.
Nice.
Thank you, sir. 210. Would be known as 210.
Okay, I decided to step out and get some fresh air. Look at this nice spinning piece of art. And we'll take a look at the Casino Hotel. Then this used to be the Wonder Bread baking factory. Well, the name was Wagner. And a sliver of a moon. So, yeah. The moon in action. And look at this, the Viking Motel. Well known throughout town and a little cheaper than the Motor City hotel as far as room rates. So it would also serve as an overflow. Here's the lay of the land for the Motor City complex. They have the detour also. You are here, right where that yellow star is. And they got plenty of little diners and stuff. If you have a hankering for some eats. And how nice to have a few cars on display. Here we got a GTO. And a GMC truck. Nice color. I don't even know how you would describe it. Bluish green. And the pickup even has the nice accents. And a huge map. I'm a map lover. This one you could get your bearings quite easily with. All right, well, the soundboard certainly has many musical acts that have performed here and will continue to perform. I'll have to make it a point to see one of these acts one of these days. I would imagine the acoustics are pretty good and the sight lines are good. Stevie Nicks. Yeah. Here, the man in the city. This is Chris Nordines. He's got it in a box. He's got, okay, well, that was, what do we got there? That was the end of the event. Okay. Then I brought my piece home. So there it is in the living room. And this is my kitchen. We're all proud to be American. Oh, yeah, and then as part of the, like, neat little care package, they gave us a nice cookie with the emblem on there. And here, if we can, programs and services, they do a wide range of things here. Homeless recovery service, okay, the road home. I say Tsunami Center because it's hard for me to pronounce that, but that's on 3rd Avenue. Familiar with that one. I want to go to this Bell building up on Oakman, so they have housing there. They all number of things here. And the cookie was made here, and I'll nibble on that here shortly. Okay. Handlebars for the homeless. This is another thing where they're going to have a bicycle tour. So they got some fundraisers that are doing some good things. Here again, the painting with the twist. Man in the City, they say they're going to do this again next year, so stay tuned. This could be a yearly, annual fundraiser, and I can agree with this charity wholeheartedly because I say I'm like two steps from being at a point where I could use those services. You lose your job and lose your health, boy, you probably need some help at that point. All right, camping in Dequindre Cut. This is going to be the second portion of the show. And this was kind of a unique first-time event kind of a thing, and I'm thinking, hey, I got to check this out. All right, I put the hazards on. First, we're going to take a little detour here and just pull over on the side of the road and take a look at the big tire. And this, I think, could be a side of the road attraction, a tourist stop, a photo op, whatnot, a welcome center. People coming from the airport or coming from the west side as they approach the city. They want maps. They want to take a break and get a coffee or a pop, get hotels, talk to some people. Okay, so here you could have an exit ramp. You got a little room here where you could have parking and so forth. And then people could get out and take pictures at the tire, which was back at the World's Fair back in New York. It was a Ferris wheel. So that's just a thought, whether it's possible or not. Well, anything's possible. If the mind can conceive it, it can be achieved. Somehow there's an expression there. Okay, so this is going to be like the Eastern Market area and a prominent church here lit up at night. But this is the Dequindre Cut, which is an old below-grade rail line, kind of cut through the ground there, below grade level. Mission Point, so they do some charity stuff. Okay, so here I'm looking at the Dequindre Cut, and I'm trying to find, there's bike paths, jogging kind of a thing. And I'm looking for where at 10 o'clock it's supposed to be kind of like shut down, and people are supposed to camp overnight here. So I wasn't exactly, the Dequindre Cut runs for, what, a mile and a half? Somebody didn't follow the lines there and went, did a little lawn job there, unfortunately. And they have those emergency light kind of things. Channel 7 Action News was on the scene. They were trying to scope it out, too, and figure out where these campers were. So we're both checking out the scene here. All right. Then we got some big rocks here. And the way you arrange rocks, it has some kind of significance. Kind of points you in a way. Okay, Channel 7, that's where they parked. There's a big plot of land here where, God, what was it? It was that famous restaurant, Joe Muir's, like a seafood place. And now this is going to be all developed. It's like crazy. A lot of development plans are really taking shape in Detroit. Urban planning is paramount. And this is something where everybody can get involved. Anybody's ideas can be valid. Throw them out there and see if it happens. Now, this is new here, too. The first day was Friday. They got a beer garden, food trucks, and more. I'm here on a Saturday evening, but it opened just the night before on Friday. And graffiti artists, well, back in the day, there were a ton of graffiti artists that put their work here in the Dequindre cut, but once they kind of cleared it out, then they solicited, I guess, artists to put their work up in various spots, and a lot of the art and murals and so forth are well done. That was an inspirational message there. Man. Oh, this is where I'm doing a little detective work, investigating how they went awry. And they just slipped through this mud, and then, wow. Here. Some of these are old school murals that they haven't changed in some of these underpasses. And years ago, I explored, several times explored the Dequindre cut, and I took my pickup truck through this area before it was developed, and I ended up getting stuck in the mud, and I actually had to ask for help from some homeless people that were actually camping in the D. Before they started this event, there were actually homeless people that would camp out and live in the Dequindre cut, and they'd have their campfires going and the tents and so forth. Anyways, needless to say, they helped me push the pickup truck out of the mud, and I got through there. But here, so this was like on the north end. We're starting to see some tents here popped up, and they actually sold out the event. It was like, I think, $25 a person or $25 a site. But when I went online to find out if it could still be done, they said, hey, it's sold out, we're booked. So maybe in the future they'll have more events.
I went to the Motor City just to have a thrill. Little did I know that I was gonna have to kill. Killing songs, not people, you know.
Oh, an air mattress. That's cheating, isn't it? That's not like roughing it or nothing. Wow, you had live music, campfires, a lot of friends and neighbors. Boy, this looks like it was a fun gig. So look for, I really think, this, I didn't hear the aftermath and stuff, but just looking around, I'm just thinking, God, they're going to do more than one of these things. So this was the first time, but I bet they'll be at it again. Now here, this is all new to me. This is the freight yard, and so they had the flashing lights going and all that. It's like, what gives here? I had no idea this was coming down the pike, but sure enough, hey, and art is everywhere, even urban art or industrial art. But yeah, a lot of people do the bike thing, certainly here. Dequindre Cut Freight Yard. So you can, cheers, you can get a beer here. How about it? In different price ranges and wine. And so there you have it. And they got flashing lights. But yeah, dare I say, Detroit in its own way is becoming hip. My Lord, yeah. This kind of stuff will give the millennials something to do. All the energy they have, but yeah. Redeveloping, repurposing, redesigning, whatever of the city. Yeah, we're long overdue. This is exciting stuff. Oh, but you can't take, I got signs. You gotta be cordoned off with your alcohol. Can't be exploring too much. It's like the invisible fence thing. If you walk past it, it'll zap you. So, but they got those bottle rockets, which is cool. It'd be nice if they get some urban living in some of those old warehouses. That's probably coming down the way. And agricultural changes. Yes, bees are important. You got a turtle. And then there's various points where you can exit, or if you prefer, exit the Dequindre Cut. But it's well done. It's kind of like the nice park thing. Look at, you can even kind of sit and relax here under a canopy, hang out with friends and family or whatever the case may be. But yeah. All right, and there's the end of the Dequindre Cut, Mack Avenue. So I'm going to exit here. Oh, the old rail lines. Yeah, they used that as a plantation border. But yeah, they had 2 rail lines run down there. And there was, for a time, where you could take the train and take it up to Pontiac. They had that for like a split second back in the 80s. But we're the Motor City, or the motor capital of the world, and mass transit really never caught on quite like it did in other cities, so we're behind everyone else. Woefully behind, but we're starting to get there. We got the Q line going, but we need to extend that. And we need to do, and now we have a fast bus that goes to the airport. Ooh, it's kind of spooky and magical here with the steam generated from our trash incinerator place, which we should close down because there's no place for a trash incinerator in the middle of a urban city, viable living city. But there's a place for everything. But not where thousands of people live. All right, there's downtown. Well, Eastern Market's certainly one of the neighborhoods that has made a comeback. And there's still a lot of room for more things to happen yet in Eastern Market. You hear a lot about downtown and Midtown, A little bit with, Corktown certainly now with Ford entering the fray and developing the train station. That's totally exciting. But we need to get all the neighborhoods kind of involved bit by bit. It will take a time. We went through a 50-year decline. And if we have a 50-year upswing, that would be just fine with me. Won't be around to see all that, but it's still fun to watch things on the upswing right now. For a change. People say, oh, Detroit, the art and whatnot with the urban ruins and so forth, and I've certainly done my share of exploring Detroit and the ruins, the bottom half of that equation. But I certainly want to see things on the upswing and report the great news, the positive things that are happening. And I think I'll be able to do that. Okay, so now I want to check out some of the artwork in Eastern Market, and it was only like a few years ago that some of the business owners and vendors decided, hey, let's solicit artists to come in and paint murals on our walls and attract attention. And sure enough, they came here and did some stellar work. And they continue to put things up each and every year. There's always something new. But some of these buildings certainly will, in due time, will be retrofitted and people will live. Here, back looking through the Dequindre cut, we see the campers. And across the way, even more artwork. Yeah, art is important, definitely. It's good for that positive outlook and so forth. It's got healing powers. All right, here, look at this Mustang, a 67 Fastback. A classic Mustang. A smoking hot Mustang. And looky there. A smoking hot babe. Yeah, it was like last year I saw the artist working on this, and I just said, wow, this will be a classic when he's done. And sure enough, he did a great job on that. Cars and babes, what a mix. Cutters, that it used to be called Joey's, but they have great burgers in there. It's kind of quiet here in Eastern Market at this time of night, but certainly a lot of activity during on Saturdays. Here are the burgers. Look at this. They got a 3-ounce. Then they got a half-pound, a 1-pound, and I've never done this before, but they got a 2-pound burger. Very affordable, too, I might add, these burgers. But, yeah, I like doing the 1-pound. It's like man versus food, and I win every time, even if that means I have to take leftovers. Uh-oh, Detroit was having a little trouble there with Seattle. Oh, the moon, a little bigger, a bigger sliver. Yes, they tried to bury us, but they didn't know we were seats. Oh, yeah. Pizza, pizza. Yes, indeedy. Looks like the dog wants a slice, too. Eastern Market, yes indeedy. If you want to eat healthy, you can find it here. I don't want to idle too long in that one spot. There are rules. Look at this truck, though. Don't want that thing barreling behind you or seeing that in your rearview mirror. Order here. Well, this is the brew place. Yeah, Detroit has a lot of good watering holes now. You won't go for wanting if you're looking for a cold beverage in Detroit. And they even have an upstairs. Oh, well, they had the music going. Henry the Hatter, they relocated into the Eastern Market. Prices got too high in the kind of like the Harmony Park area. They were just south of that, but they had to relocate. The landlord wanted more money, but I think they found a good spot here in Eastern Market. Yeah, Henry the Hatter is at 2472 Ryopel. And this Motor City Match, I really got to check this out a little bit more. I see these signs all over town. That might be a great opportunity for entrepreneurs that are looking for a nice little business place where they can start out, and some of the money is matched. They do it somehow like that. And so you can kind of hit the ground running a little bit. But yeah, they say Detroit is a good city, actually, for entrepreneurs to get their start. And I just heard something that even for, well, I shouldn't even say even, but for female entrepreneurs, and we should certainly encourage that. And I think that's the future strength of America, really, is tapping into women power. It's for how long has it been a man's world, and finally we're having women that are saying, screw all that, we can do it just as well, and they sure as hell can. So I'm looking forward to what the future holds in that regard. And there's some places here where people do the urban living. They had a party going on. They had a party going on up top, and I wasn't invited. Gosh darn. I didn't have the ticket. All right, and still some biking going on in the Dequindre cut, but you see the campers. I don't think they're all going to bed quite yet. But how neat is that? This is so cool. And they had the campfire pits. I just hope they keep doing this. And I think we should have a campground in Detroit, a permanent one. And we'll look at the DTE energy site later on. DET.com. For another show, we'll look at that site. That might be a good place for some camping. Have a nice park and the like. Here's a look at the church again. Okay, and that was the end of the tape. So I got just a few minutes here. And I'm just going to pop in another tape. You'll have the blue screen just for a split second. Second tape is in. Press play. Well, we got 5 minutes left to round out the top of the hour. Okay. Big boat action. This is continuation of footage that I had from the Movement Festival. Memorial Day weekend Sunday. Detroit Princess. It's docked right now, but you can take it many cruises along the Detroit River. Some of them offer dinner along with it. I had done it once. Ooh, an arrangement of rocks again. There's some special significance, even with the fire hydrant at the end. I'm not quite sure, but I'm on it. Here, the undercut that goes under Hart Plaza. Grand Prix cars used to race under here. But, yeah. They had 4 stages up above, and they were all feeling the groove. The smoke machines and the lights and everything. There's the people mover in action. I'm gonna go under here a little bit just to check this out. You can actually walk through. Take the step up, little pedestrian walkway. Yeah, you know, they call it the Movement Festival. I'm not really partial or crazy about the name. It kind of reminds me when I didn't want to do the colonoscopy thing because I'm over 50. You're supposed to get that. Ooh, you even have the strobe effect going on here. I don't know if it was tied into the festival or that light's just doing its own thing. But no, the movement thing, I did that thing where you Cologuard and you pop it in a box and then you mail it off, and that's much easier, less intrusive. But that's where you get the to me, that's where the term movement, you have a movement kind of a thing. I know it's not like a pleasant thought per se, but yeah, for a name of a music festival, call it reach out to the young folk and say, come up with a name. Was thought about it for a while. Techno Power. That might be one that you could consider, but with the young folk and everybody putting their thinking cap on, you probably can come up with a better name than Movement. But that's just me. Maybe some people think, they're fine with it, but the lighting, this is kind of artistic, green lighting like that. Getting near the top of the hour. I got a backlog of video now. I'm gonna have to do one show a week if I can get around to this. The Penobscot building, this was the building with the cherry on top, but it wasn't lit up, so I'm going, they're doing some maintenance kind of thing. Well, it turns out that it does come back on a few weeks later. It was on, and it doesn't blink anymore. It was just solidly a cherry, bright red cherry on top. Here, the Foundation Hotel, and they're doing quite well. Detroit Foundation Hotel, repurposed old fire station. The main fire station in Detroit. How clever. Well done. Folks, thanks for watching. Hope you have a great week or weekend, whatever the case may be. And hopefully next week we'll have a totally new show. Good night.